The year 1991. The console, Super Nintendo. Everybody's playing it, except me, I guess. But hey, not too long after it launched, Super Castlevania IV came with it. What a time to be alive. Imagine a system launching with a Castlevania game. Could we just get that today? Oh, maybe I don't want Lords of Shadow 3. Hey, I might have been missing from the party, but that doesn't mean you have to be. Welcome to my channel, Majora T, where right now it's Majora T Vania. We're playing the Castlevania games and having a blast. If you want part of the action, well, be sure to subscribe and I'll get you a castle invite. Because hey, I know you like castles. Speaking of castles, this game's fit for a king. Super Castlevania IV may be 32 years old, but it's also 32 years strong. I missed out on this game, and it's a hell of a game. It is the retelling of Simon's legacy as a Belmont. What does a Belmont do? That's the $100 Jeopardy question. I don't know. He watches the dog. No, he slays vampires. And the main vampire he's slaying is Dracula himself. This game is the hunt for Dracula. It's broken into two halves. Outside of Dracula's castle and inside Dracula's castle. And what I think really stands out is that it really feels like an adventure. The game has you traverse through 11 unique stages, each of which have a diverse array of environments. At one point you might be swinging ring to ring to escalate up a courtyard and a tower, and the next you're spelunking through a cave, finding your way to the exit. I really like how the game presents itself. It never feels dull or stale. Something as simple as the water effects as you're getting brushed down a cascading waterfall, or even the rising of ghost apparitions in a room full of treasure really make all the difference. Along the way, you'll experience some of the most memorable moments in Castlevania history. I haven't even fully explored this series, and I can safely say that you will not forget these moments. Spoiler alert for a couple of them. Skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want any spoilers. But my God, when I came into that clock tower room and everything just started turning, I was on the edge of my seat. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I definitely had no idea what the hell I was doing. Now I do, but when it happened then, that was just magical. But it wasn't all rays of sunshine on Dracula's ass. This game was hard for me to get into. I think the hardest thing was that it's just longer than your typical platformer game of the time. I'm just used to any platformers on the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis being like an hour or 2 hours. The average play length for this game is 3 to 4. And yes, it does have continues, but when you're learning the game for the first time, it just feels a lot longer than it is. In addition to that, it's Castlevania. So you're going to get knocked back, pushed around, die frequently, and the checkpoints are going to start you back at some annoying points. And every time that you run into a game over, you start back from the beginning of the level. And when you're learning the game for the first time, that can be challenging. I also have an issue with the idea that this game has the best controls of the series. Absolutely not. I hard disagree. Yes, it's cool. The whip is multi-directional and you can swing it around. You can, even aim diagonally while staying stationary. Cool. The issue is that in order to get the ideal whip, you have to have a completely flat attack. And the second you start to deviate from that, you go into flaccid whip mode, where you start swinging it like a rave dancer. and that reduces the attack of Simon significantly. And that can be devastating when something's happening, like a bat's coming full force at you, and you're just trying to take him out, and you don't kill the bat on the first hit. That's not something I've experienced in the 2D Castlevanias for the time. Additionally, you do have some of that early SNES jank. I won't get too much into that, but do enjoy this clip from Clip God Terry. They took it straight out of Donkey Kong Country 2, which I guess took it straight out of this game. Yikes. But I'm getting it better because I at least understand the stair input. Oh, do I though? And don't worry, look, I know you got your panties in a bunch or whatever, but I am going to rebut both of these points. I think if you get stuck on the length and the difficulty, you're missing the forest for the trees a bit. I had the misfortune of playing this authentically for the first time on stream. So I actually missed out on kind of just taking it all in. The game has a beautiful environment and scenery. And one of the real highlights here is the soundtrack. There's so many bangers on this thing. A bunch I already added to my playlist. And they really emphasize kind of the mood of where you are. Something like the bass line or the organs and the solos. It's very sophisticated. And I think if you play this game with the music off, Spencer, you're missing out. And yes, the controls are not my favorite, but it's not game breaking, except at that damn stair segment. I was still able to play through the game pretty readily, and by the second playthrough, I was down to just around 2 hours, 15 minutes. So there's that. I think it's just a high entry fee that you have to play the game once to play it and enjoy it better the second time. But play it you should. It's not just a Castlevania, it's a classic-vania. And I can say that I love it. I had a great time with it. Is it my favorite? Well, that's to be seen. I got more to play in this series. And I also do rate Bloodlines pretty highly. What do you think of Super Castlevania IV? Do you love it? Do you rate it? Where do you rank it? And which Castlevania would you like to see me play next? Let me know in the comments below. And stay tuned for more Majora Vania. We're going vampire hunting.